Everyone. So Steph Curry is an absolute monster and just dropped a 50 piece in game 7 against the Sacramento Kings. There is no doubt, no question that look, Steph Curry is going to be a handful for the Los Angeles Lakers. You have heard countless from multiple players, multiple sources, that Steph Curry is just exhausting to guard, having to run around and chase him and do your best to stay in front of him off of all the screens and just his constant movement. And you're running a marathon inside of an NBA game. It's a nightmare. Steph Curry's just ability to knock down just such difficult shots and heroics and just hitting just shots that just seem unbelievable and unfathomable. And look, Steph Curry very likely is going to average 30 plus a night against the Lakers. The Lakers have the best defense in the league. They are phenomenal. I believe the Lakers will win this series. I know a lot of experts, quote unquote, don't think so, but look, that's just what they do to the Lakers. Even the bubble year when we won, every conversation with, the Portland Trailblazers are going to beat the Lakers. Houston's going to sweep the Lakers. Denver's going to beat the Lakers. Miami, and guess what? Experts picked Memphis. A lot of them even said Memphis would sweep the Lakers, and guess what? Memphis is sitting at home on their couch while the Lakers getting ready to take on the Warriors today. But the reason I'm even talking about Steph and bringing this up, besides them playing today, is the argument of let Steph just go get his. Right? Like, Steph Curry's going to do Steph Curry things regardless. You're never going to stop Steph. The best thing you could do is try to slow him down. And, instead of him shooting like 55%, can you get him to like 49% or 50%? And you might be thinking that's still 50%. But that little margin could be the difference between you winning and losing a game or a series. So, do you just let Steph go off and go get 30, 40 points per game and have a historic scoring run and just stop everybody else? Or do you try to really guard Steph? Now, Jared Vanderbilt is night and away our best defender, not named Anthony Davis, right? He has done a great job on essentially everybody. From, Ja Morant, he did a fantastic job on him. We've seen him do well against like Brandon Ingram, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, like you name it. Jared Vanderbilt has done a phenomenal job. Anthony Edwards, right? Just completely took Anthony Edwards out of the games. His ability, his speed, his size, his length, his physicality, it's all the tools to just be an elite defender. And Jared Vanderbilt is very much that. And so very likely Jared Vanderbilt will be guarding Steph Curry and just trying to make things difficult. But here's the thing, again, do you let Steph just go off, put like D'Angelo Russell on Steph? D'Lo isn't going to stop Steph, but D'Lo did a really good job in the Memphis series. He's not an elite defender or anything like that by any means, but at least he tries, right? He was getting after, he's fighting through screens, he was closing out, he was playing defense. He was doing his part defensively. Do you just throw him on Steph and tell him, do your absolute best, challenge the shots the best to your ability? If he scores, don't worry about it. Just do your best. And put Jared Vanderbilt on, say, a Klay Thompson and just completely try to take Klay out of the game. Or do you put him on Andrew Wiggins and, put Austin Reeves on Klay and just say, here you go. Like, Reeves, guard Klay, and, Vando, I need you to completely take Andrew Wiggins out of the game. Because Andrew Wiggins, you can make an argument, Andrew Wiggins is the Warriors' second best player, right? It's kind of between Klay and Wiggins, but I think Wiggins is more, has been the last year and some change, more consistent. So do you just put Jared Vanderbilt on Andrew Wiggins, tell Jared Vanderbilt, shut down Andrew Wiggins, do not let him get anything, put Austin Reeves on Klay and say, hey, Klay has struggled lately, but he can get hot at any moment. We need you to just do your best to shut him down. And if you have to, move Jared Vanderbilt on Klay and just try to prevent everybody else. Because Steph Curry isn't going to beat the Lakers by himself. He's just not. He's not going to score 120 points a game by himself. He could score 30, 40, 50 because we've seen him do that. But do you just let him go do that? I'm not saying just leave him wide open all game. Again, you still got to challenge him. You could throw Dennis Schroeder on him and stuff like that if you need to. But for the most part, instead of just trying to hone in and stop Steph, there's a real argument that it'd be a lot easier to just stop everybody else. And the Lakers, with their elite defense, have the capability of stopping everyone else. Klay Thompson isn't the guy that he once was. Andrew Wiggins isn't the guy, this elite scorer. He can go get a bucket. He can go drop 20 plus. But can he night in and night out go get you 30, 40 points? Probably not, right? I mean, is he capable in the right circumstances? Sure. But these two guys, I think, are very guardable. They're realistically guardable. I mean, Klay, we've seen Klay just get scorching hot, and there's nothing you could do about it. But you can still make things difficult. You can kind of just, they're easier to defend than Steph Curry is. Klay Thompson isn't that like blow-by guy he used to be. Not that he was ever this like super quick, hyper athletic guy, but he had that first step. He could get to his spot, pull up, all that stuff. I think there's a real argument of like, hey, have Anthony Davis and LeBron James camp out in the interior so nobody gets into the paint, nobody scores in the paint, and then let Steph Curry just run around in circles and take 30 shots a game, and make sure Klay and Andrew Wiggins don't score more than like 15 points each. And if you do that, you win the game. If some other guy beats you, then fine, which I don't think so. And even then, you could just lock them down if you have to. I just think everybody on the Warriors roster is easier to guard than Steph. I think Steph is the only like superhuman on the Warriors. And there's guys like, again, Klay has moments. Even Jordan Poole has moments where he just seems unguardable. But they're inconsistent. And so do you take a chance on those two guys aren't going to be able to get hot enough 2 straight games to beat us? So let's just guard them and let Steph go off for his 50. If Klay has one of those games one night, okay, fine, you live with that. You try to stop him, obviously. You throw Jared Vanderbilt or whatever on him. You try to do your best. But if he goes off, he goes off. Same thing with Jordan Poole. Like, I could see a game where Jordan Poole just shoots the lights out and, the Warriors win that game, right? Like, but are they going to be able to do that for 4 games this series? I don't think so. I don't know. The Lakers have a lot of ways that they can defend the Warriors, which is beautiful, because I don't think the Warriors have a lot of ways to defend the Lakers. I think the Lakers really can match up. And look, LeBron has been great. So Anthony Davis has been the best defender in the entire playoffs. LeBron James is right there defensively. Like, go look up the stats. LeBron James is one of the best defenders in the playoffs this playoffs. Now, it's been one series, but Memphis was still the number 2 seed. And he was guarding Desmond at times. He was guarding Ja at times. I mean, he was guarding everybody at times. So I really think, like, if you had to, worst case scenario, right? You run, you could even do something where you go big and, you put like Rui on Draymond, and you put like LeBron on Wiggins, and you put, like Reeves on Klay, and then put like LeBron on or put Vanderbilt on Steph, something like that. So you have like Vanderbilt on Steph, LeBron on Wiggins, Reeves on Klay, Rui on Draymond, and then AD on Looney. You could, if you had to, do something like that. It may get a little clunky. There's questions about shooting, but Rui shot the 3-ball great in this series, in the last series. I expect him to do the same this series. LeBron, again, hopefully his 3-point shooting starts. But even then, like, I just don't see them being able to pack the paint enough to stop LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And that's why I say you have Reeves, who can shoot the ball and also operate in that mid-range, get to the basket. I'm not saying you have to or you should run sets like that, but if push comes to shove, it just shows the potential and the defensive of capabilities that the Lakers have. The Lakers have the size, switchability. You got to rebound, right? Kevon Looney made the Sacramento Kings pay like nobody's business. You got to box out. You got to defend. The Warriors love to turn the ball over. Love it. It's their favorite thing to do. They were number one in the league with 16.2 turnovers per game. You go in, you defend everybody, you force turnovers, you let Steph be Steph Curry, you let him get what he wants, and you just do your best to keep everybody else modest. And I think the Lakers win this series handily. I mean, it's a real argument. I mean, because the alternative is you put Vando on. You're going to put Vando on Steph Curry. You're going to put Austin Reeves on Andrew Wiggins, and then you have LeBron and AD play camp out in the paint, which is fine. And then that means you're going to have D'Lo having to run around and guard Clay, right? I mean, again, he did a great job in Memphis, but how else do you match up? So either you're putting your best defender on Steph Curry, or you just put put D'Lo on him and guard everybody else. I think that's probably the approach you go. I think you have Vando guard Andrew Wiggins. I wouldn't even be shocked if at some point, maybe they start Dennis Schroeder if you have to, and then have Vanderbilt maybe start Schroeder over D'Lo if push comes to shove. I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, but there is an argument if things aren't going very well, maybe start Schroeder to do that. Again, it goes into the flexibility that the Lakers have of just having multiple guys that could do multiple things and defend multiple ways, and their size and their physicality and all that stuff. I think that's going to be huge for the Lakers going forward, but it really does. It begs the question: Do you put D'Lo on Steph and let Steph go crazy, or do you throw Vando on Steph and try to contain him as much as possible? Because you're not going to stop Steph. So do you try to make it as difficult as possible, or do you just lock up everybody else and make Steph beat you by himself? And if, one or two games, Clay or Poole or somebody, maybe Wiggins or somebody, they just go crazy and they shoot the lights out, you live with that, but you trust that they're not going to be able to do that for 4 straight games. I think that's a real possibility. I think that's how it should potentially be approached. But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Again, this is just kind of a thought that I had that I wanted to kind of hear your opinions on what you guys think. So let me know down in the comments below. What would you do? Would you try to stop Steph and try to make him as modest as possible and make things as difficult as possible for him? Or would you rather let him go get his, shut down everyone else? Look, Steph is going to have to end up being a jump shooter 90% of the time anyway, because regardless, you're going to have LeBron James and Anthony Davis play the camp, right? They're going to be camping out the whole series. So Steph isn't going to be able to just drive to the basket. So you just let him shoot 33s a game and hope that he doesn't make 29 of them or and beat you that way. I just think that's probably the approach you take. But anyway, again, let me know.